Hey Steelers Nation, what a night to be alive and watching our team battle it out on the gridiron. This one was an absolute thriller, the kind of game that keeps your heart racing from the first snap to the very last tick of the clock. Coming out of Ford Field, the Steelers delivered a performance that, in many ways, might be remembered more for the drama than the dominance. But make no mistake, this was a statement win in every sense of the word. Right from the opening drive, it was clear that Pittsburgh wasn't here just to participate. They were here to make a mark, and boy, did they ever. The energy on the field translated immediately into big plays and critical stops that set the tone for a game that would go down to the wire. It all started to get particularly intense in the fourth quarter. The Steelers had managed to carve out a lead, 22-10, thanks to a spectacular 45-yard touchdown run from Jaylen Warren. At that moment, with just over 12 minutes left on the clock, it seemed like Pittsburgh had the game under control. But then, as the Lions are wont to do, they began their methodical push back into the contest. Jared Goff found his rhythm and connected for a 27-yard touchdown that brought the game within striking distance. It was at that point that Warren showed why he's such a pivotal piece of this offense, breaking free for a second stunning 45-yard touchdown run that extended the Steelers' lead to 29-17. From there, it became a test of nerves, strategy, and endurance. The Lions, known for their explosive offense, were relentless, and every play felt like it could tip the scales. By the final minute, Detroit had driven all the way down to 1st and goal at the 1-yard line, and it felt for a moment like the game could slip away. Fans in the stadium, whether rooting in person or glued to their screens at home, braced for the worst. Some were resigned, some were anxious, but all were captivated by the sheer intensity of the showdown. And then, in a sequence that will be analyzed for years, the Steelers' defense made the plays that mattered most. Jalen Ramsey, alongside Joey Porter, executed a textbook goal line stop, holding St. Brown short of the end zone, forcing a critical offensive pass interference that ultimately saved the game. Watching the players' reactions after the final whistle was almost as compelling as the game itself. You could see the mixture of relief, pride, and raw emotion in the locker room. Some were reflecting on what might have been, remembering past games where big leads had slipped away, while others were celebrating the tangible evidence of growth and resilience. The defensive unit, despite missing key contributors like T.J. Watt and Nick Herbig, delivered a performance that can only be described as disciplined and inspired. They forced 20 incompletions, recorded 7 tackles for loss, notched a forced fumble, and sacked Jared Goff 3 times. On the offensive side, the running game was relentless. Warren piled up 143 yards on the ground, Gainwell added 50, and even contributions from John Smith and Aaron Rodgers pushed the Steelers' total rushing output to a staggering 230 yards against Detroit's meager 15. It wasn't just about the numbers. It was about execution, timing, and seizing the moments that matter most. The offensive line, led by Dylan Cook in just his second NFL start, showed poise against one of the league's premier pass rushers in Aiden Hutchinson, bouncing back after early setbacks to help maintain pressure on the Lions' defense while opening lanes for the running game. Meanwhile, the wide receivers stepped up when it counted. Adam Thielen made his presence felt in critical situations, connecting on key passes that kept drives alive and ensured that Aaron Rodgers had the support he needed to maintain rhythm throughout the contest. Every block, every catch, every decision in the heat of the moment contributed to the cohesive team effort that made this victory possible. The game also highlighted the importance of preparation and adjustments. Steelers coaches and players alike had to contend with injuries and absences, forcing them to think creatively and execute with precision. The defensive game plan was crafted to exploit weaknesses in Detroit's middle, allowing players like Keanu Benton to penetrate the line and apply pressure exactly when it was needed most. The early tackles for loss from Alex Highsmith set a tone of dominance and resilience, signaling that Pittsburgh was not merely reacting but actively dictating the flow of the game. Even when Detroit managed to find moments of opportunity, the Steelers' discipline, communication, and anticipation ensured that those chances were minimized, maintaining control when it counted. And then, of course, there was the intangible, the belief, the camaraderie, the unspoken understanding between players that every single contribution mattered. From the secondary covering crucial receivers to the special teams executing flawlessly, it was clear that this team has embraced a culture of complementary football where offense, defense, and special teams all function in harmony. In post-game conversations, the sentiment was unanimous. This was not just a win. It was a statement about what the Steelers are capable of when they combine talent with focus, preparation, and heart. The players' reflections emphasized belief in each other, a shared commitment to improving week by week, and a relentless drive to execute their brand of football no matter the circumstances. This performance, especially given the challenges posed by Detroit's formidable offensive threats, marks a turning point for Pittsburgh. The Steelers' ability to neutralize one of the NFL's top running back tandems, disrupt a high-powered passing attack, and maintain composure under intense pressure demonstrates not only talent but maturity and growth as a team. Every yard gained, every defensive stop, and every strategic adjustment contributed to a game that will be remembered for the resilience, determination, and skill displayed by a team fully committed to its pursuit of victory. In essence, this wasn't just a game. It was a showcase of what makes football compelling: the drama, the strategic battles, the athleticism, and the emotional highs and lows that keep fans on the edge of their seats. From the moment the ball was snapped to the final whistle, the Steelers proved that they are more than capable of rising to challenges, adapting in real time, and executing with excellence when it matters most. Watching players like Jaylen Warren, Alex Highsmith, Keanu Benton, and Dylan Cook perform under pressure was a reminder that in football, individual brilliance is magnified when it contributes to a collective effort, a principle that has been at the core of Pittsburgh's identity throughout this season. As we move deeper into the implications of this game, it becomes clear that the Steelers' win over Detroit was about more than just a final score. It was a litmus test for the team's identity, a moment that revealed not only their strengths, but also their ability to adapt under intense pressure. After the final whistle, the locker room buzzed with energy and reflection. Players were dissecting every play, celebrating the key moments while acknowledging the areas where improvement was still necessary. You could sense a collective understanding that this victory, while immensely gratifying, was also a building block for what the team hopes to achieve in the postseason. The conversations in that room weren't just about stats or accolades. They were about cohesion, trust, and belief in one another, the intangible elements that elevate a good team to a great one. Jaylen Warren's performance remained the headline, and for good reason. 2 explosive 45-yard touchdown runs in a single game are the kind of plays that not only shift momentum, but also energize an entire team. His ability to find gaps, accelerate past defenders, and sustain blocks exemplified the kind of physicality and vision that Pittsburgh has been looking for in its ground game. Gainwell's contribution was equally important, providing balance and versatility, showing that the Steelers' backfield isn't reliant on a single player, but rather functions as a cohesive unit capable of wearing down defenses and controlling the tempo of the game. This dual-threat backfield, combined with precise quarterbacking, allowed Pittsburgh to dominate time of possession, outgaining Detroit in both yardage and overall control of the field. Every carry, every yard, and every decisive cut reinforced the Steelers' identity as a team capable of sustaining drives and imposing their will over opponents. Defensively, the Steelers' adjustments were masterful. Without key players like T.J. Watt and Nick Herbig, the unit demonstrated remarkable discipline, communication, and anticipation. Keanu Benton's early penetration set the tone, forcing Jared Goff into hurried decisions and creating opportunities for Alex Highsmith and others to make plays behind the line of scrimmage. Highsmith's tackles for loss were more than just statistics. They were momentum-changing plays that set up the offense with favorable field position and reinforced the confidence of the entire defensive group. Ramsey and Porter's game-saving goal line stop exemplified the Steelers' defensive philosophy. Preparation meets execution in high-pressure situations. That moment wasn't luck. It was the culmination of strategy, positioning, and mental fortitude, a perfect example of why defense wins championships. Beyond the individual performances, What stood out was the synergy across all three phases of the game. The Steelers' offensive line, led by Dylan Cook in just his second NFL start, adjusted after early pressure from Detroit's edge rushers, ensuring that Aaron Rodgers had time to survey the field and make accurate throws. Wide receivers like Adam Thielen and Marquez Valdes-Scantling stepped up in critical moments, converting key third downs and maintaining the flow of the offense. Even when Detroit made their surges, Pittsburgh's discipline and readiness minimized damage and allowed the team to maintain control. The balance between offense and defense, the ability to respond to adversity, and the focus on execution highlighted the team's growth and adaptability, showcasing a maturity beyond just talent. The mental side of the game was equally compelling. Players displayed a remarkable level of focus and composure, even when the stakes were at their highest. Watching veterans communicate with younger teammates, guiding them through pressure-packed moments, reinforced the notion that this is a team not just built on athletic skill, but also on leadership, preparation, and a shared commitment to improvement. Conversations in the locker room, post-game reflections, and interactions on the sidelines revealed a team increasingly confident in its collective ability to overcome adversity. That culture of belief and accountability is what transforms critical moments into turning points, enabling the Steelers to not only survive challenges, but thrive in them. Special teams also played a role in shaping the narrative of the game. While often overshadowed by the offense and defense, the execution of punts, kickoffs, and coverage assignments contributed to field position advantages that became pivotal in the later stages. The combination of strategic coaching, individual focus, and precise execution underscored how every unit, no matter how often they are in the spotlight, has an essential role in creating winning outcomes. Complementary football, where all three phases work seamlessly, is a hallmark of the most successful teams, and Pittsburgh displayed that principle in spades against Detroit. Another aspect worth highlighting is the adaptability of the coaching staff. Adjusting on the fly to injuries, personnel changes, and opponent tendencies is a skill that separates average teams from elite ones. Pittsburgh's coaches made critical in-game decisions, identifying weaknesses in Detroit's defense and exploiting them through both the air and ground. Whether it was creative play calling to isolate mismatches, emphasizing the strengths of particular receivers, or adjusting protection schemes to counter Detroit's pass rush, the staff's decisions enabled players to execute with confidence. The interplay between preparation and real-time adjustments demonstrated not just tactical acumen, but also an understanding of the psychological and physical demands of late-season football. The broader implications of this victory extend beyond a single week. With the Ravens losing later that evening, the Steelers found themselves in a favorable position in the AFC North. This isn't just about standings. It's about momentum, confidence, and the opportunity to shape the postseason path. By asserting themselves in a hostile environment against a top-tier offense, Pittsburgh sent a message to the rest of the league. This team is resilient, capable, and dangerous. It's not simply about winning games. It's about creating the conditions for sustained success, where confidence, strategy, and execution converge to produce results that matter when the stakes are highest. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Explosive rumors are rocking the Pittsburgh Steelers locker room, sending shockwaves through the NFL community. Sources close to the team suggest that veteran linebacker James Harrison has reportedly requested the departure of head coach Mike Tomlin, citing irreconcilable differences and growing frustration with the team's direction. While the Steelers have maintained a stoic public front, insiders hint that the tension has been simmering for months, with Harrison, known for his fiery leadership on and off the field, reaching a breaking point. Adding fuel to the fire, quarterback Ben Roethlisberger is allegedly aligned with Harrison's stance. The veteran signal caller, who has been the face of the franchise for over a decade, is reportedly concerned about Tomlin's strategic decisions and the overall morale of the team. Although Roethlisberger has never publicly criticized his coach, sources claim that behind closed doors, the quarterback has voiced support for a shakeup in the coaching staff. The Steelers' front office is said to be caught in a delicate balancing act. Tomlin, a respected figure with over a decade at the helm, has guided Pittsburgh through both triumphs and struggles, including multiple playoff runs. Yet, the murmurs from star players like Harrison and Roethlisberger could signal a pivotal moment for the franchise. Team insiders suggest that locker room dynamics have shifted, and if the current unrest continues, it could lead to a dramatic change in leadership. Fans are already buzzing on social media, debating whether the rumored rift is real or just the byproduct of a tense season. Analysts speculate that the Steelers' future might hinge on this internal conflict, raising questions about whether the team can maintain cohesion under Tomlin's guidance. If Harrison and Roethlisberger's influence sways the front office, Pittsburgh could be facing one of the most significant turning points in recent history. For now, all eyes are on the Steelers' next moves. Will Tomlin weather the storm, or will the team bow to the pressure from its veteran stars? The speculation alone has ignited conversations from Pittsburgh to coast, leaving fans on edge and the NFL community watching closely. Whatever happens, the Steelers are clearly in the midst of a potentially transformative moment, and the outcome could reshape the franchise's identity for years to come. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.